So today, let's pull back the curtain on the world of the professional barista. We're going to dive into the science, the art, and, believe it or not, the incredible history that turns a humble coffee bean into that perfect cup you look forward to every day. And I mean, what really goes into it? It's so much more than just some ground up beans and hot water. It's a craft, one that's built on a ton of knowledge and practice. This is the story of the expert behind the counter who makes it all look so easy. Okay, so that's the dictionary definition, right? Super simple. But as we're about to find out, that title, barista, it covers so much more than just handing you a drink. A great barista is more like a guide to the entire world of coffee. To really get what a barista does, we have to start where they start, with their most important ingredient, the coffee bean. I mean, everything, the flavor, the aroma, the entire experience, it all begins right here. And what a story it is. The legend goes that it all started back in the 9th century with an Ethiopian goat herder named Kaldi. He noticed his goats would go nuts, just full of energy after munching on these bright red berries. From there, it traveled to the Arabian Peninsula, where it was first grown and traded. Then it just exploded across Europe. And get this, the entire coffee industry in the Americas supposedly started from a single tiny seedling that survived a really dangerous ocean voyage. Incredible, right? Now, in the coffee world, there are two main superstars, Arabica and Robusta. Think of Arabica as the popular one. It makes up about 70% of the world's coffee. It's known for being smoother, sweeter, more delicate. And then you've got Robusta. Robusta is, well, robust. It's stronger, can be a little bitter, and this is a big one, it packs more than double the caffeine. A great barista knows exactly how these two are different and which one to use to get the perfect taste. So, a barista knows their beans. How do they actually turn them into the drink you love? Well, like any great craftsperson, they have a workshop filled with a very specific set of tools. At the center of it all, you've got the espresso machine. It's like the engine of the whole cafe. But just as crucial as the grinder, because how fine or coarse the coffee is changes everything. The ground coffee goes into the portafilter. That's the handle thing, gets pressed down nice and even with the tamper, and after the magic happens, the used grounds get smacked into the knockbox. Every single tool has its purpose, and they all have to work together perfectly. And that brings us to the absolute heart of the craft. I mean, this is the one fundamental skill everything else is built on, pulling a perfect shot of espresso. It's the foundation for almost every single drink on a cafe menu. And the precision needed here is just wild. We're talking about a tiny 30-milliliter drink. It's made by forcing super hot water through just 7 grams of coffee under intense pressure, all in a matter of seconds. Every little thing, the grind, the pressure, the temperature, it all has to be flawless. And this is the constant battle a barista fights, the extraction. It's a balancing act. If the water rushes through the coffee too fast, the shot is under-extracted, and it tastes unpleasantly sour. But if it goes too slow, it's over-extracted, and it becomes incredibly bitter. The barista's entire job is to land right in that perfect, delicious, sweet spot in the middle. And here it is, the golden window. That sweet spot we were talking about? It's a tiny window of time, just 18 to 23 seconds. Hitting that target consistently, shot after shot, is a true sign of a skilled professional. When you get it just right, you're rewarded with this beautiful 3-layered work of art. You've got the crema on top, that golden brown foam that tells you the coffee is fresh. Below that is the body, where all that caramel sweetness lives. And at the very bottom, you have the heart, which gives the shot its deep, rich coffee flavor. Okay, so pulling a perfect espresso shot is huge. It's the foundation. But for so many of our favorite drinks, like a latte or a cappuccino, that's only half the story, right? There's another huge element that has to be mastered. And that, of course, is the art of milk. This is where the barista's job kind of shifts from being a super precise scientist to more of a fluid artist. It's about transforming cold milk into this silky, sweet, beautifully textured foam. It's this little 4-step dance. First, you purge the steam wand to get any water out. Then you stretch the milk, putting the tip just at the surface to introduce air. That's the tss hissing sound. After a few seconds, you plunge the wand deeper to create a spinning vortex, which makes the foam smooth and creamy. And finally, you heat it until the pitcher is just hot to the touch, and you stop. And this is what they're after. Not big, soapy bubbles, but a perfectly smooth, glossy microfoam.
The best way I've ever heard it described is that it should have the texture of wet paint. That's the stuff that not only tastes amazing, but is also the perfect canvas for latte art.
And once you have that perfect milk, that's when the real fun begins. You can start creating designs. It all starts with these 3 fundamental patterns: the heart, the tulip, and the rosetta. Seriously, every crazy complex design you've ever seen on Instagram is just a variation or combination of these 3 basic moves.
But look, making a fantastic cup of coffee is only half the story. The technical skills are absolutely essential, but what really separates a good barista from a truly great professional one, well, it's something more. You might think a barista's job is, like 90% making coffee? The reality is pretty surprising. For a true professional, the role is actually a 50-50 split. Half of it is the craft we've been talking about, and the other half, just as important, is all about customer service and creating a genuinely welcoming experience.
And really, it all comes down to this idea. A perfect espresso or a beautiful latte, yeah, that's memorable. But that feeling, the feeling of being welcomed, of being cared for, of having a bright spot in your day, that's what really defines a professional barista. That's what brings people back day after day. Because in the end, it's never just about the coffee. It's about the entire experience.